Hello and welcome to India Business Hour. I'm Parikshit Luthra. Here are the headlines we are tracking this evening.
भारत अगले कुछ वर्षों में दुनिया की टॉप 3 इकोनॉमी में जाएगा.
No power on earth can stop India from becoming a $35 trillion economy by 2047.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi guarantees that India would become the world's third largest economy in the coming years as he inaugurates the vibrant Gujarat summit. Reliance Chairman Mukesh Ambani says no power can stop India from becoming a $35 trillion economy by 2047. Gautam Adani promises to invest 2 lakh crore rupees in Gujarat. Tata Sons Chairman Chandrasekharan says negotiations on its semiconductor unit will conclude soon and the plant in Gujarat should start production of chips in 24. Maruti Suzuki will set up a second manufacturing plant in the state by investing 35,000 crore rupees. Sensex and Nifty recover from lows led by Reliance Industries, ICICI and HDFC. IT companies brace for a weak Q3 due to tepid macros and lower discretionary spending. TCS and Infosys will report earnings tomorrow. American and British forces shoot down a barrage of missiles fired by Houthi militants over the Red Sea. US Secretary of State Blinken meets top Israeli leaders, tells cnbc the civilian casualties in Gaza are far too high. Hamas claims over 23,000 Palestinians have been killed so far. Boeing CEO David Calhoun says company needs to acknowledge its mistake after a cabin panel blew off mid-air in an Alaska Airlines flight. Asks Boeing employees to address the fallout and not speculate about what caused the mid-air scare. US market regulators' account on social media platform X gets hacked. Bitcoin goes on a roller coaster ride after a post falsely claims SEC had approved Bitcoin ETFs. Meanwhile, Apple removes Binance and few other crypto exchanges from its app store. Mazagon Dock expects an order boost with approval for 3 additional submarines within FY24 in talks with Sri Lanka, Brazil and South Africa for exports, ready to collaborate with private sector on emerging technologies. Order book currently stands at around 35,000 crore rupees. The government is working to set up a de-risking fund to boost electric bus mobility. Sources say an interministerial group is considering an outlay of up to 30,000 crore rupees. That's another exclusive. Government dials ISRO for digitization of land records. Sources say the Rural Development Ministry is in talks with the Space Agency for geospatial mapping to avoid duplication and prevent litigation. The Congress says their top leaders will skip the Ram Temple inauguration ceremony, says religion is a personal matter, but the BJP RSS has long made a political project of the temple in Ayodhya, adds that Kharge, Sonia Gandhi and Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary have respectfully declined the invitation to what is clearly a BJP RSS event. Also on the program, an exclusive conversation with advertising guru Martin Sorrell on the impact of artificial intelligence and his outlook for 2024. Let's start with the market action. Sensex and Nifty recovered in late trade to end in the green. Sensex gained over 250 points. Nifty gained over 70 points. Banks and mid-cap also managed to end in the green. Reliance Industries. Yes, Reliance Industries led the rally with the stock hitting a record high. In fact, the market capitalization of the Reliance Group has now crossed 20 lakh crore rupees. ICICI Bank and HDFC were the other big gainers today. And latest on the government's capex plan for oil marketing companies. Sources tell cnbc TV18 the government's capital infusion into HPCL will be a 2-stage process. Here's how it will happen. Government will infuse equity into ONGC via preferential allotment and ONGC will in turn infuse funds in HPCL. Size of government's infusion into ONGC, IOC, BPCL will be as per cabinet nod. Sources say government is unlikely to use the entire 30,000 crore capex allotted for OMCs in FY24. Moving on, tensions remain high in the Red Sea. American and British forces have shot down a barrage of missiles fired by Houthi militants over the Red Sea. That's right, the US military has said that this is the largest attack by Houthi on international shipping lanes in the Red Sea so far. There are no reports of damages or injuries as of now. This is the 26th attack by the rebels in the global maritime trade route since November 19. And staying with the Middle East crisis, Israel's military continues its airstrikes in southern and central Gaza. As per the Hamas, more than 23,000 Palestinians have been killed since the war broke out in October. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is on his fourth visit to the Middle East since the war began. He met with top officials in Israel and Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. Blinken rejected an immediate ceasefire in Gaza but said that the cost of conflict on civilians is far too high. Tensions also flared between Israel and Hezbollah after the Lebanese militant group launched explosive attacks at an Israeli command base.
We know that facing an enemy that embeds itself among civilians, who hides in and fires from schools, from hospitals, makes this incredibly challenging. But the daily toll on civilians in Gaza, particularly on children, is far too high. We want this war to end as soon as possible. There's been far too much loss of life, far too much suffering. But it's vital that Israel achieve its very legitimate objectives of ensuring that October 7th can never happen again.
India Inc. captains turned up in full strength at the vibrant Gujarat summit. Prime Minister Modi, who inaugurated the summit, guaranteed that India would clinch its place as the world's third largest economy in the coming years. Reliance, Tata Group, Adani Group and Maruti Suzuki announced big investments for the state. Yash Jain and Jude Sanath from day one of the vibrant Gujarat summit from Gandhinagar.
दुनिया की हर प्रमुख रेटिंग एजेंसी का अनुमान है कि भारत अगले कुछ वर्षों में दुनिया की टॉप 3 इकोनॉमी में जाएगा। दुनिया के लोग जो एनालिसिस करना है करते रहे, मेरी गारंटी है कि हो जाएगा।
What's behind that guarantee? An assurance on some big-ticket investments coming into the country, coming into the state of Gujarat. That's exactly the reason why top corporates of India gathered under the banner of Vibrant Gujarat 2024 today.
Reliance was, is, and will always remain a Gujarati company. Reliance has invested over $150 billion, that is 12 lakh crores, in creating world-class assets and capacities across India in the last 10 years. Of this, more than 1/3 has been invested in Gujarat alone.
Over the next 5 years, the Adani Group will invest over rupees 2 lakhs crore in Gujarat, thereby creating over 100,000 direct and indirect jobs.
We concluded and are about to launch the building of a huge gigafactory for 20 gigawatts of lithium-ion batteries in Sanand. The project should start construction in the next couple of months. The Tata Group has also made a commitment and is on the verge of concluding and announcing a huge semiconductor fab in Dholera.
इस मौके पर हमने सेकंड फेज के लिए MOU साइन किए हैं। जब ये प्रोजेक्ट 2029 में पूरा होगा तो 24 मिलियन टन क्रूड स्टील प्रोडक्शन की क्षमता के साथ 800 मित्तल निपन स्टील इंडिया का हजीरा साइट विश्व के सबसे बड़े सिंगल लोकेशन इंटीग्रेटेड स्टील प्लांट में से एक बन जाएगा।
We have signed an MOU with the government of Gujarat to produce 1 million tons of green ammonia in next 3 to 5 years. And accordingly, we have signed a MOU for 40,000 crores to invest in next 5 years.
However, the fact remains that some headwinds continue. For instance, the possibility that India may not have fully capitalized on the China Plus One approach, or that exports of goods may not be firing on all cylinders just as yet. But be that as it may, at Vibrant Gujarat, investor sentiment remained as palpable as ever, even as India Inc. continues to keep the faith. With Yash Jain in Gandhinagar, this is Jude Sanat.
And TCS ended in the green and Infosys closed in the red ahead of the earnings tomorrow. IT companies are bracing for a weak third quarter due to tepid macros and lower discretionary spending. Reema Tendulkar is here with the preview as the earnings season kicks off tomorrow.
Thanks so much for that. So now Q3 FY24 is likely to be a weak quarter for the Indian IT companies. There is the usual seasonality, higher furloughs, but this time the furloughs are expected to be more than normal on account of weak macro conditions. Now Infosys is likely to report a top-line decline. The dollar revenue, according to the CNBC TV18 poll, is down 1.8% on a sequential basis, and margins too will come under pressure on account of wage hikes. Now, this weakness in the current quarter will result in a likely, guidance cut. Now, the company has already downgraded its full-year assessment of growth twice. But this time, analysts are saying there could be a further guidance cut. So, from 1 to 2.5%, the company could guide for a 1 to 2% revenue growth for the full year. And if you remember, they'd started the year with a 4 to 7% top-line growth. What will the street focus on apart from numbers? Senior level management attrition, there have been a lot of leadership departures, and also the reason for that cancellation of a mega $1.5 billion MOU. But despite the weak numbers, the company has seen a fair amount of upgrades ahead of its results. So JP Morgan, UBS, Jefferies all upgraded the stock and raised the target price. TCS too is likely to report a muted quarter, flat constant currency revenue growth. Margins are likely to be stable at 24.35%. And from TCS, because it doesn't give you an annual guidance, as a bellwether of the industry, we will see signs whether demand is bottoming out, whether there are any green shoots in discretionary spending, what the calendar year 24 budgets are looking like.
All right, thanks Reema for joining us. Moving on, Ola's parent company, ANI Technologies, has posted a growth in revenue along with a narrowing of losses for FY23. The company's consolidated revenue from operations rose 42%, while losses narrowed by almost 50%. Ola's losses in FY23 stood at just over 1,000 crore rupees. The revenue from the company's ride-hailing vertical, which stood at a little under 2,000 crore, is 3 times more than that of Uber. The vertical's loss also narrowed by 64%. And Network 18's shares hit a 52-week high after 1.3% equity worth 155 crore rupees changed hands today. The buyers and the sellers in the transaction are unknown as of now. The company's subsidiary, TV18 Broadcast, also saw a large block deal. That stock also gained after 0.7% of its equity worth 78 crore rupees changed hands. And shares of SpiceJet rallied in trade ahead of the airline's annual general meeting, in which Chairman and Managing Director Ajay Singh talked about the fundraise which would make SpiceJet more resilient. He told shareholders that a large part of the 2,200 crores will be utilized to grow the airline and its network. Mazagon Dock is expecting an order boost with the Defence Ministry's approval for 3 additional submarines in FY24. The company revealed that it is in talks with Sri Lanka, Brazil and South Africa for exports. Speaking to CNBC TV18, Chairman and Managing Director Sanjeev Singhal said Mazagon Dock is ready to collaborate with the private sector in emerging technologies. The shipbuilding company's order book currently stands at around 35,000 crore rupees.
As far as the next financial year is concerned, FY25, we are pretty confident with respect to the growth, considering the fresh orders which have been added till December of this financial year. We have added fresh orders of approximately 6,000 crores, and going ahead during this financial year itself, we expect further accretion to this order book. In case the additional submarines are also getting finalized before 31st of March, this would be a significant boost. So the submarines, 3 additional submarines would be there, And considering the order book, which we expect at around 34,000, 35,000 crores as of 31st of March.
A period of 3 years. Upon completion of the deal, Juniper's CEO, Rami Rahim, will lead the combined group and report to HPE's CEO, Antonio Neri. Amazon's live streaming app, Twitch, will be laying off at least 500 employees, as per a Bloomberg report. That is 35% of its workforce. The move comes at a time when Twitch is facing losses and a significant number of its top staff have quit the company. The platform cut 400 jobs in 2023. And days after a door of a 737 MAX 9 plane blew off mid-air, yes, this was a story that scared many across the globe, the Boeing CEO has now acknowledged that the plane maker made a mistake. Dave Calhoun told employees, and I quote, "We're going to approach it with 100% and complete transparency every step of the way." End of quote. He added that the company will ensure safety of every plane that flies. No injuries were reported after the door blew off during an Alaskan Airlines flight. Several MAX 9 planes have been grounded since the incident. And another story that grabbed global headlines today, U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission's account on social media platform X was hacked last night, with a post falsely claiming that the Bitcoin ETF has been approved. This led to a chaos in the crypto market. SEC later clarified that its account was hacked. Back in India, tech giant Apple has removed Binance and other crypto exchanges from its app store. Rachna Dhanrajani has all the details for you.
Yes, it has been a highly eventful day in the cryptocurrency world. The day kicked off with a series of tweets from the official account of the US Securities and Exchange Commission incorrectly announcing the approval of a Bitcoin exchange-traded fund. This sudden announcement led to the liquidation of nearly $90 million worth of Bitcoin long and short positions in just 10 minutes. This frenzy was short-lived, with SEC announcing that its X account had been compromised and the fake tweets were then taken down. The market reaction was swift, with Bitcoin prices spiking to $47,900 from the levels of $46,000 and then dropping to $45,400 once the tweets were exposed as fake. During this brief window of volatility, automated bots reacting to the false information took over $500 million in futures positions. The ensuing market turbulence resulted in $50 million being liquidated in long positions, while shorts were impacted by $36 million. The social media platform X conducted a preliminary investigation and confirmed that the SEC's account was compromised because an unidentified individual gained control over a phone number that was associated with the account through a third party. Now, there may be a possibility that this person is someone from within the SEC. X also said in a post that the SEC did not have two-factor authentication enabled at the time the account was compromised. The irony of the situation is noteworthy, considering the SEC's consistent warnings to crypto traders about the dangers of misinformation on social media platforms like Twitter. The SEC has now advised traders to cross-verify information on its official Edgar website before making any decisions based on these tweets. Speaking of the decision on Bitcoin ETF, which was falsely announced in the tweets, it is expected from the SEC tonight or by tomorrow morning. Another significant development in the crypto world involves the removal of 8 crypto apps, including the world's largest crypto exchange, Binance, from the Apple Store here in India. This move is reportedly in response to a show cause notice that was issued back in October last year from the Finance Ministry, citing non-compliance with India's money laundering laws. In December last year, Binance agreed to pay over $4 billion to US authorities after pleading guilty to similar money laundering charges over there.
All right. Of course, there was a ripple effect across the globe to that story. On to a CNBC TV18 exclusive now. The government is working on a fund to reduce risks for banks that finance public and private acquisitions of electric buses. Sources tell CNBC TV18 that an interministerial group is considering a fund with an outlay of up to 30,000 crore rupees. The fund will be used to finance acquisition of buses for government and provides guarantees for the private sector acquisitions as well. Moving on, another step towards digitization. The union government is planning to rope in ISRO for digitization of land records. We learned from sources that the government is planning a unique 14-digit alpha-numeric ID to prevent duplication of land records. Abhimanyu Sharma is here with more.
Well, government sources have indicated that the Ministry of Rural Development is in talks with Indian Space Research Organization to digitize land records across India. Now, last year, the government had indicated its intent to digitize all land records in India by the 31st of March 2024. And the move of the government, as far as digitization is concerned, aims to identify exact land parcels across the country based on their exact longitude and latitude, and also to assign a unique 14-digit alphanumeric identification number to ensure that there is some degree of uniqueness as far as every land parcel is concerned, to avoid duplication and also to possibly avoid disputes in the long run. Now, land disputes continue to remain a big chunk of cases across the country as far as litigation is concerned, and the government's move is aimed at not just easing business but also easing living for citizens across India. More details on this move of ISRO being roped in are yet to come out in the public domain, but clearly the government is intending to ensure that the exact identification of land parcels with the help of geospatial mapping would be eased out as far as digitization of land records is concerned, something which is already underway.
All right, thanks Abhimanyu for joining us. Coming up on India Business Hour now, an exclusive conversation with advertising guru Martin Sorrell on the impact of AI and its outlook for 2024. All CNBC TV 18's news and updates on Facebook, X, Threads, Instagram and JioCinema. You're watching India Business Hour. With just a few days go for the inauguration of the Ram Temple in Ayodhya, the Congress has said their top leaders will be skipping the ceremony. The party cited that religion is a personal matter, but the BJP and RSS have long made a political project of the temple. It added that Kharge, Sonia Gandhi and Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary have respectfully declined the invitation. The Maharashtra Assembly Speaker has ruled that the faction led by Chief Minister Eknath Shinde is the real Shiv Sena. Based on legislative majority, the decision comes as a major setback for the faction led by Uddhav Thackeray. Remember, the Thackeray faction had already approached the Supreme Court yesterday, questioning the impartiality of Speaker Rahul Narvekar after a meeting between him and Shinde at the CM residence. Today, Narvekar, while announcing his decision, said that he would go by the 1999 constitution of the Shiv Sena. Based on that document, the Shiv Sena president doesn't have the powers to remove Shinde as the legislative party leader. Moving on. Artificial intelligence will shake up the advertising industry in 2024. This is the prediction of renowned ad guru Martin Sorrell. He spoke to Shibani Gharat on the sidelines of the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas.
So what took us 3 weeks or 3 months to do, we literally can do in hours. A month's flow is about that.
Sure.
It's about hyper-personalization. So we thought that the web would enable us to digitize and personalize things. Well, we're doing it on steroids now with AI, which enables us to do it. You know, the work that we do for a client like Netflix, for example, you know, we might produce, so I don't know, 1.5 million different creative executions for a Netflix series. We can now do this on an unimaginably greater scale than we did before. So hyper-personalization. So those two things really is where Monk's Flow concentrates on. US-China relations, Russia and Ukraine, the Middle East. Obviously climate change continues to be a problem. I was in South America over the holidays and the weather pattern was certainly very different to anything I've experienced over the last 10 years. So I think it's all those things mean there's a cocktail of risk. But this time last year, clients were worried about interest rates going up. This year, they're not worried, but they think the interest rate will go down. So I think their demeanor and their general feelings are better.
All right, moving on to a CNBC TV 18 special now. Our parents and their parents before them slept on wooden slates and bare earth. But we need mattresses to get a good night's sleep, and mattresses companies are cashing in on the craving for comfort. CNBC TV 18's Kiran Khatri and Shruti Mishra report that premiumization and customization are buzzwords these companies are betting on in order to get a good night's sleep on.
Diabetes, heart attack, hypertension, depression, anxiety, chronic spondylitis, and backache. Multiple medical research papers suggest that these ailments can be linked to poor sleep quality. A local circle survey conducted in early 2023 says that 55% of the over 13,300 Indians who responded claimed they got less than 6 hours of uninterrupted sleep a night. While most of these people blamed poor sleep on external factors like mosquitoes, a sizable number blamed uncomfortable beds or mattresses. Studies have also inferred that incidents of poor sleep have risen sharply since the COVID-19 pandemic, which forced millions in India to stay at home for months at a time. This has given birth to a highly competitive industry, mattresses. The sleep company, one of the relatively new players in this segment, says choosing a mattress has become as involved an exercise as buying a smartphone.
We realize consumers are doing research anywhere between 7 to 10 days before they decide what brand they want to buy. And you would find consumers ask about how many layers this mattress has, or what is the material that goes inside the mattress, what is it made up of. That just shows that how the category is transforming from being a commodity to being a very involved category.
So people have very clear use cases and what they want out of a mattress, which is beyond just price, discount and size. Currently, I'm in a life stage where my back is not so firm, so I want to do that. Or no, I live in a city which is quite hot and humid during most part of the year, so I need a mattress that is cooling in its effect.
It's not just time that customers are willing to spend in buying the right mattress, it's big money. For instance, there are premium orthopedic mattresses which claim to provide spine alignment and posture support and features like body temperature control. These can cost anywhere between 30,000 and 70,000 rupees. Some mattresses even cost about 1 lakh rupees. This premium segment, companies believe, is here to stay.
The premium range didn't even exist 18 months ago. And just in 18 months, we've launched and we're seeing 20-25% of sales coming from there, which meant that, again, people are willing to stretch that 5,000, 6,000 in service of their sleep.
The way the Indian household income is projected as we move ahead, we will see growth in all the segments. You will see growth rates coming in the above 50,000 rupee mattress segment also, as well as the sub 50,000 25 to 50,000 segment industry also.
It's not just newer players who are offering tech-enabled mattress solutions and developing new combinations of materials like latex, quilted fabric and next-gen memory foam to give their products an edge. Even legacy players like Sheela Foam, which operates the Sleepwell brand, are getting in on the action.
We are putting up a plant in Jabalpur with technology of one of its kind in the entire country, or in fact in this part of the world. No other company has that technology, which is called the BPF technology. It is a far more environmental friendly method of manufacturing of foam, as well as it gives me certain features which I can bring in the product, which the conventional method of production will not be able to meet.
A report by Mordor Intelligence says the mattress market has generated revenues of over $200 million in 2023. This is expected to grow at a CAGR of nearly 8% by 2028. Mattress makers say customization is the latest trend that will drive much of this growth. And so no one can be caught sleeping. But I can. In Mumbai, Kiran Khatri.
All right, Kiran getting us that special report on the mattress industry in the country. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of India Business Hour. Thank you for watching. News continues right here on CNBC TV 18.